Hi there, 10 minutes to go. Here today we have something slightly different to the recent lessons I've been posting. This is a review of a student game. This is one of my students, Ben, who's been playing with 10 minutes to go for probably a couple of years now and has moved from a pretty much a beginner to about 8Q. He's playing a lot of games, he's focusing on his Go and he's developing really, really well. It's an interesting game because actually Ben, as white, won this game, but sent me the link and said, "Look, can I take a look at this?" Because although I won the game, I felt like I was fighting against my opponent all the time, that I was being outthought and outmaneuvered, and that I just got lucky at the end, and that's why I killed a group, and that's why I won the game. And I'd just like to see if there are any lessons for me. So let's just take a look at what happened in this game. As we say, Ben is white and his opponent is black. So upper right 4-4, lower left 4-4. Lower right 3-4, upper right 4-4, and there's a Shimari. Okay, there are lots of moves here. We're in the opening, we can't over detail this, but one of the things that you need to kind of start to think about is directions of play. So this Shimari that black has made has a facing. It faces in this direction because it's tall in this direction and it's lower in this one, which means that's the direction that black group wants to move. White in the game did this, but if it was me, almost without hesitation, if my opponent makes a wide Shimari, don't forget this is a weak Shimari, there's a 2-space gap and it's up on the 4th line, I'd do something like this. And the reason you come out here 4-4 low is that there's lots and lots of space around these 2 stones here. And if black pincers you too tight in a move, you've got lots and lots of moves. This move works really well. If black cuts, you cut. Black comes down, you come down. Black has to fix. You can either take the corner here, or you can come out on this side and then come on this side. There's lots of maneuvers because the 2-space extension is loose. So let's just take that out. So and it disrupts the development, the direction of development. Anyway, in the game, white played this. Black did a nice knight move defense to a knight move approach to the 4-4. This is the stuff that we learn at DDK and we should stick with. White attaches, it's a reasonable move. Q18 is the alternative here. Black hanes, and I would expect white here just to simply descend and keep sente, because now white's 2 stones have got 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. They're strong. It's a 2-stone wall with a 1-space extension at 017. It's a strong structure, and yeah, black might come down here, but then white does something like this and white gets the bigger move, gets the sente move here. What actually happened in the game is that white wedged here, and this is slightly problematic for white, because if it was me as black in this case, almost without hesitation, I would cut here, and white has got to play this, otherwise its position is shattered, and then black here. And notice white can't really cut here. If white cuts, black simply descends here, and white cannot descend here because black would extend, and the 2 stones 4 and 6 R16 R and S16 will die, so that doesn't work for white. If white cuts in that direction, white can ladder here, but then black can come under. If white connects here, black comes here, white comes here, black comes here. This is better for white, much better, because now white can play something like this and black can play this, and it's a more even result. But again, these are complications, and I would really like to keep this simple and play at Q18. White played here, black backed off. This is not great shape, and this kind of either play this kind of shape because it leaves this potential here to come up in this direction. This is okay, and black makes the big move, and if we notice over on the graph on the right hand side, this is where black first creeps ahead on the board with that big move. So white plays a big move, which is also good. Black approaches the upper right corner, and white pincers from the outside. Now, I've talked quite a lot, and I keep repeating in various videos, and I will continue to repeat, that people, particularly at DDQ or even high single-digit Qs, still think about Go as a game where your focus is to get territory. And of course, in part that's true, but that doesn't describe the dynamics of Go. The dynamics of Go are about the interaction of strong and weak groups of stones, and we measure the success or otherwise of that conflict or those fights or that dynamic through territory by counting points. But that's only in the same way that in a game of soccer we measure success or otherwise in goals. But what is the success that we're measuring? What we're measuring in soccer is the ability of a group of individuals to work together as a team. We're balancing the skills and talents of individual people with the whole team and their direction, how the management coordinates and brings all of that and keeps a big picture vision on the whole game as it's been played, and makes decisions on substitutes and so on and so forth, exchanging one thing for another. That's the dynamic of soccer, and we measure success or not in goals. And it's the same with all team and group sports. In Go, Go is about the dynamics of strong and weak groups of stones. And so we're constantly scanning the board, looking for, is that group strong and stable? Is that one weak? What's the status of this group? Is this alive? Is this not alive? And that gives us the clue, it gives us the direction to how the game unfolds. So in this case, because white is quite correct, because this group here is actually very weak, it has very poor shape, white does the correct thing to pincer the black stone. If white had played this kind of alternative, then this would have been very bad for white, because now these stones are really constrained and they're going to come under severe attack. So white's move was correct. Absolutely correct. If we go back to here, the pincer was correct here. Let's take these out. Black comes in, white hanes, black does the same joseki that we've just seen, and white had the same opportunity. I'm not going to go through it again here. And then white does the wedge. The problem with the wedge is it doesn't go anywhere. Black simply connects, and now white has to fix a defect in its shape. And then white plays this move, which actually is the correct move. And I would say to Ben at this point, Ben, after this one, just connect. It's called the 1, 2, 3 principle, or the ABC principle. You go from 1 to 3, you don't play 2. Or you go from A to C, you don't play B. And this is a case of actually, this is the C move. Don't bother playing B, which is the E17 move. And guess what? You get sente, because now you can do this cutting sequence here again, and black has to be very careful. So, but now after this sequence, black gets this cut, Uatari, but it's too late, because now this black group is poking out in this direction and threatening this area of territory that you want to gain in the game. So you've created this problem by overplaying in that area. And then you go and fix it, but that means black gets a sente and gets to capture that. And now you do this one force, black takes it, and now you make shape. So again, we end in gote. Okay, you've got some territory on the upper side. There's a bit of a gap here in between these stones here. They're a bit loose. A placement at M17, L17 or M16 would be difficult for white, but I think you get away with this. But it ends in gote, and black gets another sente. Black approaches your lower right side, and you see how black is strongly ahead. It's 90% to black at the moment. White comes down, black comes up, white comes out. Does a knight move defense? Again, it's not a bad thing. D6 would equally work and put a little bit more pressure. Black makes the shape, and I want you to take note on this shape. It's a very common shape, and it's a very important shape. It appears a lot in Go on 3-4 and 4-4 approach moves and josekis, and it has a vulnerability that you can exploit later, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so white comes here because white understands now that black is ahead on territory. Black's got this lovely double wing formation of territory, potentially all the way out here. And white's got this bit of territory, down to the corner here, and some here. Very small on the top side. So black is ahead, black significantly ahead, and so white's got to do something. So white comes in. This is slightly over ambitious as an approach move, and I would look for something that, if you're looking to reduce, because when we invade our opponent's territory, we're trying to do one of two things. We're either invading so we can break into the territory and live in there, live small and carve out a life for us, or we're reducing. And if we're reducing, then we're going to get in and get out and trample some of that territory. And actually the P3 move isn't quite right. I'd prefer to see something like here, a bit further back, or even, where else could we go? This kind of reduction. If black comes here, then white gets this kind of hane, black here, white here, black, this kind of shape, to create a reduction and reduce black in the same way that black reduced white in the upper left hand side. Okay, so in the game white did this, black came under, white came out, black pushed again, white did the hane, but the hane doesn't work because the black move, white gives up stone and places here. The M3 stone is important because this is the key attack move to attack this shape, and so it's vital that white preserves that. White comes out. This is not a great move, Ben. It just doesn't help keep your stones connected. This is much better because this shape is important. It's an important shape in the game because it gives strength to your stones. This is just a little bit panicky. That one there, black hane's round, you block on that side, white defends, and you come up, and then black turns. These stones are dead. We know that. They're gone, they're finished, they can't get away. But the vital stone still remains this one. This gives you an attack on the white group. So white turns to force the take, and then white needs to invade. This is kind of the wrong invasion. It's just the wrong invasion. There is this sequence, and I'm going to look back and see if I've done a joseki on this one. It's a side joseki that's very common. White here. Black comes up, white comes up, black comes up, white descends. And it's the descent that's vital because the descent means that white can now either connect in this direction or can connect in this direction and rip out the base to those black stones, and they're now in trouble. There are some great videos on this joseki online. I'll put a link in the description here to a guy whose videos I love called Weichi Master, and he does a very good explanation of this one. So black has very few moves in this place now. If black blocks this side, white can come this side. If black blocks this side, white comes this side. It's just not going to work. Black's going to die one side or the other. One side or the other. In the game, Ben came out, black aimed at the cutting point, black came down and connected, white connected, and then this horrible running fight starts where white's got this heavy group with no eyes running out into the center of the board, and white's committed now, and so black can make hay. So black's making solid points all the way here, although this series of co's starts, and white's still in trouble. Black's just attacking this group and making territory. White's still not got any eyes. Black plays slightly risky here for the ko. There's the ko threat. White answers, black takes back, white, black, ko threat, connect. Did you need to play that? Are those 4 stones important? I'd be tempted just to do that and finish it all off and give up the 4 stones, because then you get this one and then you get this one. If black connects under here, you connect here, and now you've got the corner under attack. You've got this solid shape, and so giving up something small these 8 points here for a bigger attack potential, because black is fairly scattered in this area of the board. In black's got a very scatter loose shapes, and there's a potential there for you to do a major attack in that area. Okay, but as it happened, let's get rid of that blue thing. You connected another ko threat, ko threat, ko threat. Ignore. Without a doubt, the stone on R18 is doing nothing. It's not doing any work. Leave it alone, give it up. take here and just kill. And now you're back in this position. Potentially, all of this could become white territory, and you'd win the game. This is just too bad, too small a co-threat to even bother with at this point. You should just simply ignore and take the stones in this way. It ends the co. Your group's unconditionally alive. Black is shattered in fragments on the left-hand side. Okay. You in the game, you answer the co, and black takes the co back. You take the other co, black connects. You cut, takes the co back. Co threat, black answers. Black answers. Black comes out. You come down Atari, but black takes the co back. You play a co-threat. Actually, that's a co-threat, but I like this co-threat better, because now black's in trouble again in this kind of shape. What was the co-threat here that you played in the game? That one. Yeah, okay, black answered, and you got the co-threat back, and then black did connect. You came down, black cuts and gets a double Atari. He comes out here. This is going nowhere. Your white group is now shattered, and all of that becomes territory. So this is really bad. This is a second bad block. Black's well ahead. I'm going to go through this quickly. I think those were the two big points. Okay, so this then carries on with black way ahead in the game, all the way through, until this sequence happens. White here, black here, white here. This was a mistake by black. This is where you win the game. Black, this is a mistake by black, because actually the black move here is this descent, and then white's got to play here and then black here, and white just dies because white's got enough space in the corner and you can't do anything with it. You know, white here, black here, white here, black here, white here, black here. Could this work? This could work. 1, 2, 3. Against 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would work for white. So it's not over yet. What happens here? White attires. That's the sequence. So we're in the same sequence. You defend that. This was clumsy by a bit. Comes by black, because you can just play the snapback, which means white has to play this, and then black would just, I guess, play here. But this sequence is well analysed by the AI in the game. This one here says white should absolutely play this. This is the living move, the blue move. Black plays here, white plays here, black here. White takes these two, then unimportant stones. Black makes eyes in the corner. Again, white did the take here, and the AI says black should just connect here in this way. And I think that's correct, because if black connects here, white can't push here because black does this, and now black simply kills like this. So it's all over. So you were a bit lucky at the end, but in the game it came into this sequence, and you killed all of the black stones, which means everything on the top side died. So there's quite a few moves in there. I think I'd like you, Ben, to go back and look at some of those joseki shapes in the corner. The almost identical joseki played in the upper left and the lower right. There's just the side joseki that we talked about in this area of the board. So we're talking about early on, this sequence was suboptimal. This sequence was suboptimal. Invading a two-space extension after that joseki is an important thing to learn. And there's something going on about sacrifice, about sacrificing. When you fail to sacrifice this S shape of stones, you miss the opportunity to actually attack black on a grand scale in this area of the board and build a big territory. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some insights into the game. Please post, comment, like, do all of that groovy stuff. It really does help the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for that, and bye for now.